So Fatman, Beats, hello, anybody there? Well, let's talk about that on the wrestling show. Welcome, everyone. This is Sleazy and no one else. Today, it's just a solo podcast for me. Unfortunately, Fatman couldn't be with us. The rest of the wrestling show couldn't be with us today. So it's just me, unfortunately. Or fortunately, depending on which side of the teams you're playing on, you know. Today, we're going to talk about AEW All Out. Probably one of the most controversial pay-per-views in a long time, honestly. Ryan, thank you. Unfortunately, Ryan will be talking a little bit more about Ryan on Thursday because we will be having another episode of TWS After Dark, which will include a wonderful episode of Wrestling Jeopardy and a little bit more of a change from Mr. Kevin J. Callis. Affirmative. Unfortunately, Ryan had to work tonight, so we weren't able to have his presence graced here. Let's get right on into this. This is probably going to be a shorter show, obviously, because it's just me. But like I said, AEW All Out happened September 7th, way back when, 3 days ago. Let's get right into the main opening contest. Daniel Garcia versus MJF. Holy shit. I don't have stats other than just a random thing. And forgive me, I'm looking down at the screen as well to read off because Fatman's not here to read off the stats. It was 23 minutes, 41 seconds. I have somebody from, who is this? Pantoja from 411 Mania. That's who I chose to pick today. Always got to put somebody over as it is. He gave this 3 3/4 stars. I gave it 4 stars. I thought it was a great way to open the match. Daniel Garcia was given so much in this match. Obviously, I'm a huge fan of Daniel Garcia, local boy as it is. MJF, amazing wrestler. We'll talk about that maybe high up on the PWI list. We'll talk about that a little bit later tonight. But doing the Brett's Rope Tombstone, a lot of classic heel stuff from MJF and Daniel Garcia getting color. It was really, really cool. I won't say it was a problem, but I think that how you finished the match here was very interesting. But I love Daniel getting his heat back and basically taking out MJF through basically with a stretcher job. Like I said, great thing, great match, great way to open the show. Then we get into the dead spot for the AEW World Tag Team Championships, the Young Bucks versus Claudio Castagnoli, Swiss, and Wheeler Yuta. This gentleman gave it 2 3/4 stars. This was 15 minutes, 45 seconds. I don't know. My problem with the match here is that it was really, it felt like the Young Bucks were phoning it in, if that makes any sense. Like the winners of this match were not in doubt, really, you know. I did like the finish of it otherwise, but it just felt like that there was never any doubt, and kind of the sales were blown out uh, in terms of just like no one really cared, which is unfortunate because there's 4 great wrestlers in this match and it just kind of fell flat. Um, we then get in to the AEW International Championships. I should probably put this on the screen so we're kind of going along with this. The International Championship, Will Ospreay versus Pac. Everybody knew this was going to be a fucking banger. 20 minutes, 30 seconds. Uh, it did not seem, it seemed way longer than that, honestly. But holy shit. Some of the spots in this match were just absolutely ridiculously sick. The Poison Rana from Pac off the top rope that Will basically sticks the landing and then hits the hidden blade for a near fall. Probably one of the best spots you'll see all year. It was just it it was one of those matches where both guys know what they're doing, so to speak. So everybody's interested to see what they put together in terms of a massive high flying moments after moment after moment after moment. And this fucking delivered in spades, guys. Um, Pac is normally the one doing stupid spots like landing on his feet from a flip bump, stuff like that. But Will was right there to match him for most of it. Um, I don't know. It's just so great. This gentleman gave it 4.5 stars. I gave it 5 stars. I thought it was absolute perfection. There was nothing wrong with this match. Um, if you want to talk about anything in the match that was, I don't know. Some people didn't like it, but Will does have a tendency to take neck bumps and stuff like that. I don't have a problem with it as long as it's done semi safely. And in this, it was fine. Um, we then get into the Chicago Street Fight, another banger of a match. Chris Statlander, wow, versus Willow Nightingale. I'm not a huge fan of Willow Nightingale as a whole, but this match fucking banger of a 15-minute match. It was 14 minutes, 57 seconds. The intensity of the match was amazing. Some of the spots were just outright gnarly. I love the splits onto the thumbtacks. That was hilarious and great. The table spots were amazing. I like the fact that they went up and did the light tubes, um, which, very GCW-ish of them, I will say. But yeah, it made it its own thing in a show that also featured a very violent match at the end. A lot of people complained about this match, surprisingly, that they thought it was too violent, too um, too outside of the box. And we'll get to that a little bit later in terms of another ridiculous story that came out of this. Um, I think that there were some bits that could have been a little bit more crisp. I still gave it 4.5 stars. Um, I it's hard for me to sit here and say that it was perfection. It wasn't. There were a couple of little bits and pieces. I thought the um finish was kind of iffy. I kind of get where they were going with the choke and whatnot, but having Willow submit like that kind of was, I don't want to say it was strange, but it was definitely not what I expected. And maybe that's good. I don't know. But yeah, it was a really nice put together street fight that I think people will be talking about for a long time, especially when you're talking about women's wrestling. This is not done in women's wrestling as a whole. Very rarely is it done even in AEW, but I feel like they did a great job of putting the match together. AEW Continental Championship is a 4-way because it was okay, I guess. I don't know. Kazuka Okada versus Konosuke Takeshita, because Fat Man's not here, versus I can't read the name. Mark Briscoe. I can't pronounce the name. Sorry. And Orange Cassidy. I guess. You never know. Um, please stop me when I'm wrong. No, it's four-way match thrown together. What I guess this was a reason to get Okada on the card. I guess question mark. It was a fine match. It was 3 stars in my opinion. It was right exactly 15 minutes. Um, I think having Okada beat Orange was the best call here. I think you're going to have a big matchup with Takeshita versus Okada down the line. Mark Briscoe was in there to just be Mark Briscoe. Um, I like the fire of Orange in the match, and then having him lose here just makes him kind of go a little bit off the deep end. I think it was a good idea for him to take the pin here for that reason. Perfectly fine 4-way. And then, as they say, the bell rang on the show. AEW TBS Championship. Fat Man's favorite girl, Mercedes Moné, versus Sleazy's favorite girl in AEW, I guess, Hikaru Shida. I'm going to say this. I don't know what happened here. This was, by the way, this was 16 minutes, 32 seconds. This thing fell apart about halfway through, and it got worse and worse and worse. And I think that the best way to put this is to show the actual finish of Mercedes Moné, which I will show on the screen right now, hopefully. Excusez-moi. So, as you can see on the screen, we just need to show. God damn it, guys! What the fuck is that? What are you guys doing here? And this is the finish of the match. But my God, it got worse and worse and worse. They were doing Shida was doing a like a Trouble in Paradise style kick before this, and they did it 3 fucking times before Shida just like, I give up. What the fuck is this? This spot right here is probably one of the stupidest things I've seen in a long time. She needs to retire the move. Like, she's not even close. She gets her up on the gory bomb, and I guess she's supposed to do a DDT from that. It never looks good when she does hit it. When it doesn't hit like this, it looks like this. This is ridiculous. This should not be a finisher. If you can't do the finisher 100% of the time, you shouldn't be doing the finisher. And that's just the reality of it. Okay? With all due respect to Mercedes Moné and to Shida herself. I mean, what is she going to do anyway? But it pisses me off because it's absolutely making everybody look like shit. And for that reason, I gave it a 1.5 stars. It was a terrible way to, and this is for their fucking secondary title too. She is the big star of the company, and yet she can't even fucking pull off a match like this in 15 minutes. Fatman and I kind of talked about this before, but I want to kind of put a little bit of a bow on this. I believe that Mercedes Moné is a WWE person through and through. She came up in the WWE system. She spent a lot of time on the independent, or not on the independents, in the developmental. She spent a lot of her career in WWE as a whole. Obviously, she had some independent experience before that, but the vast majority of her time she spent inside of WWE. WWE has a way of laying out matches. Agents lay spots out. It's just the WWE mindset. For that, she does well. She does well with other people who have that mindset. So, but when she's gone out to the indies, she's been out there for 2 years now, 2.5 years. Now, granted, she got injured through part of that, but whatever. It's a different world out there. You should be doing different things. Um, Matches are called differently. Uh, the people you work with have different styles. A lot more of the time you're calling in the ring, you're calling audibles, you're going with the flow of the match. And if you don't have any experience in that, you end up looking like this fucking mess where you don't know what you need to be doing, or you need to start over with another spot, or something happens that's crazy that you need to kind of work your way out of. She does not have that, in my opinion. And showing so much of everything regarding. Oh my God! Oh,
This is called a takeover.
thank God for that.
I can kill like 5-10 minutes maybe, but like I just figured I'd take over. And the struggle it took to log in through shit, I'm taking my 5 minutes of fame now.
Take it, please, God. Talk to me.
Where were we on All Out?
I'm bitching about Mercedes Monet,
Oh wow, that's a good start. Clearly, Fat Man's not on the show.
right?
Um, it was better than her All In match.
High praise.
It was though.
Was it though?
It was. Sheeta was a better opponent.
I will agree with that.
And I mean, a better opponent and a better opponent style for Mercedes.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So that's why I think the match is better.
I still believe that Mercedes is doing stupid shit. The spin kicks is a great example of that.
Her new finish is shit too, but just kind
Oh
of.
God, yes. I just showed the video of her finish on the show, while hopefully not getting copyright struck, but whatever. But yeah, it's just so terrible. Do you want to touch upon the other matches
Yes.
up to that point?
Go to the start and run me down.
Okay. MJF Garcia.
Ron Kidd died, but apparently there's contract disputes of Daniel Garcia. So okay, I get it.
Tag titles: Young Bucks versus Swiss and Yuta.
Ron Kidd's definitely died after the main event.
Agreed. Yeah. Osprey versus Pac.
Well, Roy Kidd died, but that was an AEW match if there ever was one. Enjoyed it, but it's still over the top nonsense, and you're halfway through the card. Over the top nonsense, mind you, or third match in the card.
Chris Statlander versus Willow Nightingale in a street fight.
Way better than I expected it to be. Once they changed that they weren't allowed to put the title on the line, I thought to me that telegraphed Stat was winning, but apparently they weren't allowed to put the title on the line because CMML wants nothing to do with like blood and shit.
That seems weird.
It does, but it's like family friendly, and that was going to be a bloody match. Apparently they just didn't want the belt associated with that match. So kind of leads me to believe that had the belt been on the line, Statlander wasn't winning it? Question mark?
Maybe. I think they just did a great job, and it brought women's wrestling up about 5 notches.
Okay, fair enough.
The Fatal 4-Way: Okada, Takeshita, Briscoe, Cassidy.
I don't hate what Okada's doing now because it's a different avenue for Okada, and he's evolving to what he was and last time he was here in America. But like, I just don't like this belt.
Yeah, what is this belt?
It's a no manager's belt. But essentially, is what it is. No outside interference. It's one-on-one. It's going to be prominent again next month when they do the CC again.
So do you think that they're going to continue? Are they going to throw the 3 championships back into it so that it would be?
They have access to 2.
Yeah.
And what a pop or a coup, I'd say, for the indie fans if they can grab, was it David Finlay now? Is the strong openweight champion? So if you get David Finlay in to do it and they do the same thing again, they're the Triple Crown champion. I'd like that, actually. I think that'd be pretty cool. But they'd have to get, if they don't get the strong belt, you could realistically use the pure belt.
The pure belt they could use. I mean, what is the international championship?
The IC title, but Will Ospreay's.
What is the TBS title then?
That's the women's.
Or excuse me, the TNT title.
The IC title on steroids.
Then what is the Ring of Honor television title?
A lie.
Ain't that the fucking truth?
But yeah.
Oh my god. We're actually current now. Let's get into speaking of the TNT champion, Jack Perry versus the world champion Ryan Danielson.
I'm gonna go quick. Lord knows I gotta go. Right.
Yeah.
But as good as that match was, nobody's gonna remember it because of the aftermath, which sucked because it was a really good match.
Mm-hmm. Nearly a half hour of it. And quickly, I know you got a couple seconds. I'm just gonna let you spin out for the main event too. Cage match.
If I was ever gonna rate something higher than 5-star match purely on story and violence and everything melded into one, it'd be that. That was fucking amazing because it was everything. And I, among a lot of people, shit on AEW for not doing storytelling all the time. But when they do it right, usually involves Hangman for some fucking reason. When they do it right, it is great. And that has escalated. What do they do next?
I don't know. And I'll give my opinion after the fact. But what are your opinions of specifically the chair shot at the end and the two concrete bumps?
I'm a worker that took chair shots to the head unprotected. If it was a real chair and he hit him that hard to break it like that, ouch. Even if they say it's a gimmicky chair, obviously they had to do something to break it that way. So cool. The visual of a chair shot to the head these days brings that reaction like it fucking should. When it happened all the time, nobody batted an eyelash. Now it happens rare. Rare. And I say rare, but Jack Perry, less than a month ago, just ate one to the dome. But it's still, if it only happens once a month through the hundreds of hours of wrestling we watch, and that's all feds, I'm okay with it. They're going to do something to try to gimmick it to make it not suck. Makes sense.
Fair point. Have fun. Enjoy. I'll see you Thursday. Let me quickly go back to the Mercedes Moné match because we do have another guest that's coming on. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the Fatman is here. Ladies and gentlemen, oh my God. Thank you for joining us, Fatman. I know you only got a couple of minutes. Yeah, you fucking piece of shit. Well, let's talk about your girl. Yeah, I hate her now. It's terrible. She can't work a match. I'm so over it. So now I'm a fan of Hikaru Shida now instead. So, getting right into it, let's talk about Bryan Danielson versus Jack Perry. As you heard Ryan hop on, my God, what an amazing match, put together very well. I think fuck yo finish many times during the match though. That will always get to me. But the reality is no one's going to remember the match. Ryan's absolutely 100% right. Having Bryan get attacked by Luchasaurus, having the Blackpool Combat Club come down to help him and then turn on him, specifically Swiss starting off the violence was the most shocking thing in the world. My biggest problem with the spot, if anything, was the bag spot took too long. I know a lot of people kind of were pissy about them using the spot as a whole. Were kind of weird. I love the storytelling of Wheeler Yuta getting pushed aside by Pac. It was really well done storytelling. I really loved it. And then we had the unsanctioned lights out fight. First of all, there's 3 spots I want to talk about, really. Number one are, well, I kind of alluded to it already, which was this spot right here. Basically, vertebraker on the goddamn fucking cinder block here, concrete block. Now, for those who are a little squeamish, avert your eyes for a moment here. That's just gnarly. That is just the gnarliest thing in the world. Let's show that right now. Oh my God. Obviously, this is from AEW's Twitter. Shout out to AEW for putting some spots of the show on their Twitter. Obviously, all rights reserved for them. Please don't cancel me. But obviously, we're using it as fair use because we're reviewing the show. But just one of the most gnarly spots I've seen in a long time. Until, for fuck's sake, I can't believe they did it. Well, I guess I can believe it. This is the other spot.
Man's face.
Once again, thanks to AEW for this footage. Gets him up. Ow. Just ow. Fucking ow. I thought the Hangman spot was a little iffy, but he kind of protected himself. He came down a little bit in front of it. He scraped his back on the damn cinder block. You can actually see it in the spot here. But once again, Swerve just eats it. Just fucking eats it. And to be fair, Adam Page just like lets him fly too. He doesn't even come down with him. So he's taking the full brunt of that. I don't know how the fuck he took that. I don't know how he's standing today. The last thing I want to show, I guess, is the one that's probably the most controversial, I guess. Well, kind of controversial, I guess. And this is from a fan, actually. For those, this is from WrestlePurious. This is a fan shot of what happened. Because honestly, on the pay-per-view, you didn't actually see the full brunt of this. So here's the actual shot from a fan's perspective. This was the finish of the match. God damn, pal. Now the ref waves them off and just says, that's it. Okay. I have a lot of problems with that. I know Ryan was just on here, said it was, if it happens rarely, it's fine. I come from a world where wrestler safety is paramount. I know that there's been talk after the match that both Swerve and Adam are both fine. They got through the match. No major injuries, nothing of that nature. I really have a problem with the last chair shot. I really do. And maybe I don't care if it's gimmicked. There's the other thing is I don't care if it was gimmicked. I don't care that he didn't get his hand up. It was an unprotected chair shot to the head. And just ask guys like Mick Foley. Just ask half of the ECW roster. Just ask anybody who's taken more than a half a dozen chair shots to the head. It's just it was an absolute ridiculousness of a spot that I'm not sure should have happened. I'm glad it finished the match in a match that was all about just going balls to the wall. Some people were pissy about the hypodermic needle spot. I didn't have a problem with it. Fatman unfortunately wasn't able to come on the show tonight. I'm doing the solo because why not? Ryan stopped by for a few minutes, but that's we just somebody had to hashtag watch the product, and unfortunately, it was me this week, I guess. Welcome, Gus. Nice to see you. I think the biggest issue I have out of the entire match was that outside of that, the story was great. There was no other reason why this match shouldn't have been the top billing. It was the most charged of anything on the show. I know people were like, well, why isn't the AEW title? No, this was the match everybody wanted to see. They did some great spots in this that were just ridiculous. Loved every second of it. I loved from the moment they got started where they were brawling as the cage was coming down and they were going to try and keep each other to try and have the cage take the other person out. That was great. There's just so many great moments of this. The only thing I have a problem with is that fucking chair spot. And which is crazy because the first two chair spots were probably the most safe I've seen in a long time. So to have those two chair spots happen and then the third one be probably one of the nastiest ones that I've seen in a long time. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was the finish of the match where basically he breaks a chair over Swerve's head and the ref stops the match. I think that there's a lot to say about the match itself. I know some people are saying it's the best match that AEW has ever had. Some people are just absolutely disgusted by the violence of the match. First of all, that was the point of this match. It was going to be violent. It was a personal match. They did a great job building it up to be a personal match. They did a great job of just doing some ridiculous things. Having Hangman rip out Swerve's grill was fucking amazing. I thought that was great. It's just there were so many great spots that were ironically marred by probably the worst one, which was the final chair shot. When we get to these types of spots, I have a hard time rating it for this reason. If I ignore the chair spot, if I ignore that and everything else happens in this match, easily 5 stars without question. Second 5-star match on the card. With the chair spot, I don't know if I can rate it because once again, you've done something that's way out of line, in my opinion. And in the past, I've done this where I haven't rated a match because of certain spots because I don't want to glorify a particular spot. And I think I'm going to do that with this. I'm not going to rate this match. All in all, I'm fine with the syringe. Believe it or not, I'm actually fine with the syringe because it's not a big deal. The reality is you took a tiny little needle and shoved it in a guy's cheek. I mean, you could have a piercing that would be, more painful than that. It's not that painful. The visceral reaction of it is nasty. It looks terrible. But from a reality perspective, it's it's nothing. It's nothing to me. But once again, the look of it makes it nasty. And that's part of the reason why I like the match so much is there are many spots like that where it looked nasty, but it was relatively safe. The chair shot was not. All in all, great show. Some really big stickers. A main event that if you like violence, that is your fucking bag. That's your match. If you love GCW, that is a match that you need to watch. If you like great high flying action, probably the best instance of that is on this card as well with Will Ospreay versus Pac. I give this 8 out of 10 despite some clunkers on the match. Once again, the tag match was not great. And obviously the Monet Sheeta match was not great in my opinion either. But what do you guys think? Put your rating of the show in the chat if you'd like. If you guys are enjoying just chilling here, thank you. We're going to go quickly into news and rumors. There's only a couple of quick things that I want to touch on before we go for the day. Number one is related to the the show, and I still can't believe I'm showing this because it's just the stupidest thing I've probably seen in a long time. So as we were talking about ridiculous, spots, the syringe spot, people are upset about the syringe spot. People are also upset about the bag spot with Danielson. I shit you not, people got together and set up a change.org petition to try and get AEW programming off the air based upon a pay-per-view that was not on any weekly television spot. Okay, first of all, let's take a look at the marks that have supported this. Look at mark number 1 here. He looks like Gringo Loco from 2CW. We have mark number 2, who looks like he can't even put together a match in his mother's basement. Then we have a Swiss, or not Swiss, Slick Wagner Brown lookalike who doesn't know that his mother's basement showing up. Then we got this person that I don't even know what happened. Probably somebody that just thought that her pearls needed to be clutched a little bit harder. And then we're not even going to show this gentleman here, but he's also in his basement. The reality is there is nothing that's going to throw off AEW when it comes to a petition like this. First of all, this is only has the goal is 500. There's only 203 signatures, 203 marks that don't like AEW. Some of the I don't know, the comments on this are just fucking hilarious. Some of them are obviously trolls. Some of them are like, this one is fucking hilarious. Him calling out the fact that people are aroused by these images. They're a fucking troll. I loved it. There's so many just great fucking bits here. Satanic and Christ. It's fucking hilarious. Some of them I'm not even sure are actual trolls. They're just people I'm not sure I want to deal with in walk of life. I don't know. It just, for me, you do what you got to do, but it's stupid in my opinion. I thought that's one of the dumbest things in the world. But yeah, what are you going to do? Another thing that came out today, actually, as of about 4 hours ago, is everyone's favorite marked publication, Pro Wrestling Illustrated, has released their full PWI 500, and to the shock of probably nobody, number 1 is none other than Cody Rhodes. The man has been doing the best work of his career since coming to WWE. This isn't a shock, really, in my opinion. Obviously, PWI is semi kayfabe too. They've taken a lot of the titles and stuff like that, and wins and losses. They matter in this particular circumstance. The top 10 is pretty interesting. Swerve is number 2. Will Ospreay is number 3. Rollins is 4. Naito's number 5. considering what he's gone through this year. Priest 6, MJF 7, Moxley 8, Gunther number 9, rounding out number 10, Mystico. Are we in 2019? Mystico's still here? What the fuck? Some notable names on here. Bryan Danielson is in the top 20, as is Sami Zayn and Joe. Basically, a who's who of the last 15 years of Ring of Honor is on the top 25. Okada's on the top 25. Mustafa Ali, who's been doing great work, is on the top 25. Jey Uso, Moose. Drew McIntyre has been killing it. Guys like Christian Cage making it out in the top 30. Mike Ball Speed Bailey hitting number 34 is amazing. A bunch of great wrestlers on here and EC3. There's a lot of Ring of Honor people here too. Some local notable names is on 485. Friend of the show, Mike Skyros. Congratulations to Mike for making it. There LSG, who's a coworker friend of mine, Excite Homestay. There was Killian McMurphy is on here. Great that he made it on here. There was Cheeseburger, who's local to here. Matt Tremont made it on the list this year as well. Unfortunately, no Sean Carr, mainly because he hasn't been doing much of anything outside of Excite. That's his own choice. But that's what he's doing. I have to put him over because, Sean fucking Carr. Other guys on here like Raj Deji, the former Jinder Mahal. My Young Jay Lee is actually a local person from upstate New York. Great to see him on this list. There's many others on here. There are a lot of women on this list too that have been doing like both women versus women matches and women versus men matches. Women like the Dark Sheik. And there's another big one on here that I'm blanking on, but it doesn't matter. Leo Rush, fuck Leo Rush, but he made it to almost to the top half. But this list and so many others you can get in the latest subscription of or latest issue of Pro Wrestling Illustrated. I want to point out that this is not sponsored by Pro Wrestling Illustrated, but I feel like I have to put them over in the fact. So I'm going to give them a, obviously I'm going to put their actual URL. If you want to buy the issue of Pro Wrestling Illustrated digitally, it's $6 for the actual list here, the actual, I want to keep saying episode for some reason. I'm stopping myself. But if you want to buy the actual issue, $6, or if you want the year's worth of it, it's only $10 for the year. Once again, this is not sponsored by Pro Wrestling Illustrated. I just feel like I need to put them over a little bit because we're basically showing off their list. But there's so many more other bits and pieces of the PWI 500 that come out. Obviously, the women's 250s in there. Friend of the show, friend of ours, Veda Scott was actually in there for being on the top 10 list for commentary for this year, which is amazing. Great for her. I'm so glad that she is getting recognized for work. She's doing a great job in New Japan and in Stardom. Last thing I want to talk about, you know what? We'll leave that for next week because I think we're getting to the end of the show. Let me start by saying this. Fatman, I need you back on the show. Fatman, I know you're here. we need to talk about, how you're getting over on Twitter. Can you tell me more about that? No. Can you put yourself over? No. Okay. Well, fuck him. So, first of all, TWS After Dark Thursday night. Ryan's back. We're doing Wrestling Jeopardy. I've forgotten which episode. Excuse me. Almost got through the entire episode without coughing. Check them out Thursday evening. I do want to point out one other thing is I was on the goodness. The That's So Funny podcast. Thank you. The link to the episode I was on and the liner notes or the links for the That's So Funny podcast are in the description of the show today. Lorenzo, excuse me, That's All Funny. I keep trying not to say Never Not Funny, Jimmy Pardo's podcast, but That's All Funny podcast. Check him out. Great episode. Enjoyed it being on there. A great dude. Check him out. Check out the episode and obviously check out his other work and obviously follow him on Twitter, Instagram, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Ryan's not here, obviously, but you can find Ryan on TikTok at Ryan Buck Gotch r/The Wrestling Show on Reddit. Heavy G's not here, but I will put over the best darn sports show, period, 2 Monday nights at 8:00, I believe, because they didn't want to overshadow TWS After Dark when it goes on. They're talking football. Football's a big deal. I have no idea about football. I saw a guy almost get knocked out of the white line by about 2 inches or something, and other things are happening. You should really listen to them if you like football. I don't know football. I'm at TWS Sleazy. Fatman's gone, so fuck him. We are at Sleazy Fatman on X, Instagram, Threads, and TikTok. Please like and follow us there. Find our videos at twitch.tv/SleazyandTheFatman, youtube.com/SleazyandTheFatman, premium content, onlyfans.com/The Wrestling Show. Like and subscribe on your favorite platform, and make sure you click that notification icon on YouTube so you know when we go live, whether it's Tuesday nights at 8 or when we go live Thursday nights for TWS After Dark. Explore more content at thewrestlingshow.com, including articles, merch, and so much more. So with thanks to Ryan, who hopped on for a few minutes, thank you guys all for listening and sticking with us throughout the show, even though it was a solo podcast. And as always, for Sleazy, this is The Wrestling Show. Thank you guys so much for listening. Peace. Oh, by the way, a hot dog is a sandwich. And if you've ever heard of the cube roll, you would know that.
I'm a truth that you seem to run from. I'm an army of one. I'm a clip in your gun.